So good morning everyone. In today's session we'll discuss about how blockchain is used in logistics. So how do we relate this blockchain and logistics? So logistics is something which deals about movement of goods from one end to another, from a manufacturer to a customer. And how is this blockchain going to help us? So this technology will help to track and manage how these goods are moved throughout the entire supply chain. So let us assume it's a pharmacy product and it is manufactured in a particular concern. It moves to a wholesaler and then to a retailer, and whatever I've told now in 3 levels could be even 13 or 14 levels. But irrespective of any level it goes through, all that information should be stored in a safe and secure and transparent way. So what do you need? You should have a digital ledger where each and every transaction is getting recorded. So how is it possible to use this blockchain? So for example, let us assume if the parties are suppliers, shippers, customers. So once a raw material is supplied from one agency to the industry, that transaction should be recorded. If it is moving from the wholesaler to the retailer, that transaction should be recorded. So all the parties involved, like suppliers, shippers, customers, okay, so they should be able to have an access to a real time but a shared view of that particular status of supply chain management. So what are the 3 types of blockchain? One is public, the other one is private, and the third one is hybrid. Certain businesses that need transparency, security and open access, okay, like cryptocurrency or supply chain tracking. Here this type of blockchain is called as a public blockchain. Private blockchain, they want to prioritize control, privacy, confidentiality. For example, if it's finance or healthcare or a blockchain meant for an institution, so it is only for internal use, or only when certain users really want to access the data, you call it as a private blockchain. The third one is hybrid. So it provides complex needs. For example, such as governments or large corporations, basically they go for this hybrid. So you'll have everything combined here. You will have privacy, you will have transparency, you will have some data to be remaining private, some data will be made public for all activities. So that type of chain is called as a hybrid blockchain. So why do you really want to go for this method of using blockchain in logistics? So quickly we'll look into. So first one is improved efficiency. The second one is end-to-end visibility. You can implement some smart contracts. Next is it will help you to prevent any fraudulent activity, and it helps you to build trust across partners. See, the first one is improved efficiency, right? So it is very accurate, immutable, nobody can change, immutable blockchain. So you will hold all data that is required for sending goods from one place to another. So it could be local or it could be international also. If there are transportation management companies which will involve or which has a lot of custom clearance, lot of paperwork, so that can be reduced. And once you have your data in blockchain, it has got a lot of visibility, right? Whoever is within that particular networks will be able to view the data exactly. So all this will help in improving the efficiency. The second point is end-to-end visibility, either at the micro level or the macro level. So it will help you to overcome the problem of or it will help you to track the inventory. So inventory tracking, load planning. And apart from this, if suppose there were any disputes which could have occurred earlier, if you're going to put a data in blockchain, you will not have any dispute at all. So real-time monitoring is very much helpful. The third one is smart contract. So smart contract means self-executing programs. These self-executing contracts will automatically trigger the actions based on condition. So for example, in case if I am making a payment and closing my Amazon order, then automatically the delivery will be programmed, right? So these smart contracts will help you to overcome the need of the third person. So all the transactions will be faster, there will be no human error, and it will also increase the trust among all the participants. So that's about smart contract. The fourth one is trust across partners. So you can avoid misunderstanding with partners, because everyone will be having access to the same content, right? So there is no confusion like, did I see the information what you actually saw? So nobody can see like the value was this when I saw, the value was this when you saw. No, it is just one data, and everyone is going to get one view of that particular data only. The fifth one is fraud prevention. So you can't alter the data, right? So once you don't have the option to alter the data, there is no chance of any fraudulent activity. Next, we look into how blockchain can be implemented in logistics, in how many ways. So basically 5 major ones. So first one is supply chain transparency and traceability. So since all the data is stored in the blockchain, every participant in the supply chain can check the information for every vehicle, every ship, every container, every cargo in real time. So 84% of companies, they operate with software that autonomously gather all these freight updates. The second one is warehouse management and inventory control. So when it is inventory, okay, so we might have to make use of a lot of warehousing tools and inventory control tools, so that has to be integrated together. So communication between such systems like CRM, BPM, EDM, ERP, partly it will be carried out manually and partly it will be carried out in papers like couriers, conducting some personal meetings. This is actually the traditional method. But nowadays, all companies are adopting the tamper-proof backend modules. For what? For verifying the digital documents. Where do they do that? In the cloud. How do they do that? They have a specific API. So this API will allow the supply chain participants to sync along, track the location of vehicles, see the quality of the cargo, whether the food in that cargo is spoiled or not. Are the mushrooms gone out of date of their expiry? So this is real-time monitoring. Third one is fleet management and maintenance logs. So every batch of goods or individual product is equipped with an RFID tag. So this RFID can measure speed, temperature, humidity and other empirical data like vehicle wear and tear, etc. So there is always a possible to detect the violation of transportation conditions, or find out whether the quality of, for example, if it is strawberry, is it still okay or has it started begin to rot? If at all there is any one product which is infected, then it can easily identify the source of infection in few seconds. The fourth application is smart contract for automation. So for example, if you want to have a good delivered, so let me say like I'm just ordering a Samsung mobile from Amazon. So I know I'm an end user, Amazon is a delivery partner, that's all. But in between, there are n number of people who are carrying out the process of that phone being ordered and delivered to my home, right? So let's assume like there are almost 30 parties involved, like shippers, consignees, third party logistics, carriers, governments, banks, insurers, so many. Just imagine the amount of work that all these people are doing with their own centralizedly maintained database. So in case we are going for a smart contract, then it really save a lot of money in this industry. The next one is about payments and settlements. So some platform will work for hard cash like Indian rupee notes, and some platform will work for cryptocurrency. But if you're going to use the currency notes, there's a lot of exchange related things that will happen around if it is a cross border payments. But if it's going to be a cryptocurrency, unanimously across the world it will be accepted. The next is about loss, theft and fraud prevention. So we know, like, once you throw it into a blockchain, it won't be lost. You throw data into a blockchain, nobody can actually, they might, if they want, they can look in, if they have permission, they look in. But once saved, it cannot be changed, and any change will be identified very easily. And the third one is fraud prevention. So we have these contracts. So those contracts enable to see that all the data are intact, and only on a check condition any incident will occur. So some real world implementations, it's MediLedger, Siemens uses IT and blockchain, IBM Footrest, it's a cloud based solution they've developed. So what are the challenges? If at all I want to bring up blockchain in logistics, what are the challenges? Very few. Number one, data storage model. Since not all companies or systems use the same data model to collaborate on the blockchain, how do I do it? Number one. Second, how do I integrate blockchain into existing IT system? It's very difficult to integrate actually. Okay, so we'll have to do a lot of work for that. The third one is developing a blockchain technology. Immediate implementation, how many of us are ready? So that's a very big question. The fourth one, information flow. See, if it is going to be an information flow between different organizations, again, if it is national, it's going to be a tough one. If it's going to be international, it's going to be a little bit different, more tough. So we'll have to analyze all that. Next is sharing. So most companies won't like to share their information with third parties. Even though we have zero knowledge proof or private permission blockchain, which helps in seeing that people in my company alone will be using that. So that's a trust which you build. But still, unless and until it's accepted, this cannot be implemented. The last one is compliance requirements. So all the companies should ensure that blockchain solutions are complying with various regulations like ISO standards and then FDA traceability requirements. So that's about compliance requirements. So if I try to analyze the data storage model, how to bring your blockchain into the current system, and then do you really need to identify whether blockchain can be used, and if so, how? Then about the complete sequence of information flow that will happen in your system, and then about making use of a private blockchain with limited permissions, and then to check whether we have the compliance requirements. So all these analysis will help to implement blockchain and logistics. Okay, thank you.